Howdy. And hello there. I'm back with another brief look at review kind of thing. This time it is going to be about X-Transbots Maedas, the third and final Omnibot from X-Transbots, following Fioravanti and Yaguchi. It's been a long road getting from there to here. There's something familiar about that. Can't quite think where I know that from. Anyway, these three were pre-ordered back in October of 2022. So it's taken just over 3 years for them to get these out. So you could equate that to one figure per year, but it hasn't, because I'm pretty sure Fioravanti was it 2023 or 24? And then, anyway, it was on one of me top 10 lists of the previous year. If you look back, you'll see that. I could open up a spreadsheet. I've got all the information on a spreadsheet, but I'm not going to do that now. Main point is, pre-order was October 2022. They're now complete January of 2026. It's been a while. Maedas arrived to me around the 13th of January. Yeah, it was the 13th of January. And he's literally been sat doing nothing all that time because I've just been busy with other stuff. But now I've taken a few photos of him, which you may have or may not have seen on Instagram or Facebook. But I finally got round to doing the review, which is what you're going to be watching now. So really, I should wrap up this intro and get on with it, really, shouldn't I? Yeah, let's do that. Cue the intro, and I'll see you on the other side.
The box.
Yep, and so we have the box, and pretty straightforward for X-Transbots. They all look the same. Some artistic interpretation of Maedas in his robot mode with the detail in there of MX-25. He's a scout. We've got like a blueprint style of the vehicle mode, X-Transbots logo, and a smaller piece of artwork of Maedas himself. On the back we have that battle scene, which is getting a bit old now, X-Transbots. I think maybe you need to update that with some newer figures on there, newer releases that you've done. We've got the tech spec readout. We've then got his motto, which is, "The life of spies is to know, not to be known." And then the top, it's just, X-Transbots ** series. And then on the bottom, it's then got just a few QR codes that you can scan, which will take you to the instructions and the transformational videos, etc. Because X-Transbots do not package their figures now with a transformational booklet. Those days have gone. They do still do the collector's card, but I'll get to that when I start discussing the accessories. So yeah, that's it. Pretty straightforward. Nothing more. Let's move on to the accessories.
The accessories.
Well, maybe let's not get overexcited with the accessories here for Maedas. We have a collector's card with the tech spec ranking on the back, his motto, and then just a brief outline of the character himself. And then we have his two weapons, one for each hand, which also double up as blasters when he's in vehicle, the special vehicle mode, if you will. Both made out of plastic, nicely chromed, some decent detail on them. But yeah, that's really all I can say about the accessories. It kind of tracks, really, because the original Omnibots didn't come with a lot of accessories. It was literally just their weapons, and that was it. So when transferring through to Masterpiece, it makes sense that they don't overload them with unnecessary accessories. Although I do believe Fioravanti came with blast effects, and Yaguchi... No, I think Yaguchi just came with his weapons, so it's kind of a bit of a diminishing returns with them. It will be interesting. I may, later on in the review, or when I come to do the photos, I may look to see if the blast effects will fit onto these weapons for Maedas. I don't think they will, because there is a slight ridge to the top here, so it's not a clean tube, if you will, for the blast effect to slot over. But we'll give it a go and see how we get on with it. Okay, that's all I'm going to say about the accessories. Nothing else to do. Let's move on, shall we?
The robot mode.
So, Maedas in his robot mode. First initial thoughts are, it looks really nice. This paint scheme and application works really well with the mold, and it makes it really stand out. From the details on the arms at either side here to the crotch area, top of each thigh, and then down to this detailing here that's on the chest area. It just makes it really stand out. To use a well-worn phrase, it pops. The figure pops. There's a metallic sheen to the colour. It's like a silvery blue grey kind of finish on it, but depending on how you catch it in the light, there is a bit of a pearlescence and a metallic there, which does give it a different shimmer and almost appear like a different colour. Anyway, in the robot mode as well, you can also see the detailing of the rear light clusters. Let's just spin him round a bit. So there we've got the lovely wheels, die-cast wheels, rubber tyres, which is great. Everything just seems to just tidy up nicely, neatly. On the back, he has this rocket launcher here, centralised on his back. Then just getting back around into front view. I'll just tilt the head up slightly. There's some gorgeous chrome work going on the eyes there that makes them really...
The head itself, the paint application is very monotone. So it's all one colour. There's no different colour for the around the eyes or the mouth plates or anything like that. It's all one colour. Look, those almost cyan
kind of chromed eyes, just the piercing, they just really stand out. Articulation wise, yeah, it's got bags of articulation. If you've seen some of the photos that I've already posted on my Instagram feed, you will see, the poses he's able to get into. There's full rotation on the arms, at the shoulders here. There's tilting forward and backwards, sorry. He's got bicep swivel. There's double joints at the elbows here. There is just a swing side-to-side articulation on the thumb. The index finger is just articulated at the knuckle area, and then the other three fingers are all fused. There's a tilt side-to-side and rotation on the hand. There is some forwards and backwards motion on the waist area. It also spins round like so. The crotch section here, those are attached independently, so as you move the legs, they can be moved independent of that. The legs, decent amount of articulation there. They also pull out, and then we've got a double joint on the knee as well. As for you've got your thigh swivel. The thighs are die cast as well, as are these connecting rods, ports, struts, whatever you want to call them, that go to the upper arms. And, sorry, I forgot to mention, yes, the double joints here at the elbows, they're die-cast as well. The feet, there's a slight tilt forward, slight tilt back, side-to-side rocker that, well, it rocks inside, but it doesn't rock outside much, and that's it. You might be able to just see, but it's a die-cast connector that's in there as well that attaches the foot to the lower leg.
Well, I have your die-cast on him. That I missed out here. That's on his back. That's also made out of die-cast. And then we also have some more die-cast content on the inside of the upper torso area here as well. So yeah, plenty of die-cast. Real well put together. It's a good, solid figure, which I've said for a good few, probably about 18 months now, 2 years, that X-Transbots are getting better at what they do, their output that they do. The figures that they're releasing, the rest of the Omnibots are all great. I've had no issues with those. Or maybe Yaguchi, the way that his back attaches.
I think that was an issue that I had there. The Battle Chargers, Fast and Fury, they were both great. And there was the issue with the stiff joints on... I always forget the mixed up. It was the Lotus. There was the stiff joints on the thigh and the leg on the Lotus. And then you get to the Constructicons. Groundbite, Gravedigger, Razor and Big Load. All 4 of those have been fantastic. So yeah, X-Transbots really up the game. But anyway, back onto Maedas. Head articulation, yeah, just basically up and down and rotates. Loving the translucent windscreen here and side panels for the windows. Translucent plastic for the rear window here. And that's probably about it. All I can tell you about it. It's just a well-realised figure and a good representation of the Omnibot camshaft. So, yeah, I'll leave it at that and we'll move on.
The car mode.
Vehicle mode. It's a Mazda RX-7 Series 2, I believe it is. So it would have been around about 1980, 81-ish, something like that. It's a solid vehicle mode. It really is. Everything tabs in well. And it's, to be fair, getting it from robot to vehicle and back again, it's pretty straightforward. It's not difficult. It's not the usual X-Transbots way of doing things, to be fair. I was kind of like able to do it. I had a quick glance at an online video, but it wasn't one of those where I played a bit, pause, and then played a bit, pause. I just kind of like give it a bit of a quick glance over, and then I was just up and running, and off we went. And yeah, so like I said, I was appreciative of the fact that everything did tab in okay on vehicle mode, because in robot mode, one of the tabs doesn't do so great. But in vehicle mode, yeah, it's fine, and it there's no misalignments, no panel gaps, anything like that. It also, as well, pretty straightforward and easy enough to get into the battle car mode as well. So there's again, no issues with that there. I like the paint finish on it, which I've mentioned before with regards excuse me, when it was in robot mode. The detail as well carries through to vehicle mode. Rubber tyres, die-cast wheels, lights, like the indicators on the front bumper there, side running lights, the rear light clusters, tidies up well underneath. Loving the blue translucent windows, but I'm a sucker for translucent plastic, as we all know. And then these 2 little buttons here, if we press those, he said, this one's a little stiff. There we go. Press them up and we get some pop-up headlights. You can't go wrong with pop-up headlights. Love them. And the detail on here is quite good as well. They could have cheaped out and they could have just painted them on. They haven't. What they've done is they're actually recessed. There's silver paint in there, and then they've got a translucent plastic lens on them, which just gives them a really nice finish. And yeah, I really do like that. The doors do open, if I can get my nail in there without breaking it. I've already broken 3 nails this week. Oh, trauma's real. I haven't really. So yeah, the door opens, but you're not going to get a figure or anything like that in there. So it's not really a feature. It's just more a case of it does it so you can transform. It enables the transformation. And yeah, that's really all I can say about it. There's nothing more. It is what it is, as they say. I hate saying that, but for some reason I keep saying it. What I'll do is I'll bring the other 2 out. So the other one I'll bring out is Yaguchi, or Downshift. Just pop that back there so we know we're getting them into focus. Yaguchi, or should I say Downshift, he's based on a Toyota Celica Supra from about 81, 82 as well. So they do scale really well together. And then if I bring the third one in, which is Fioravanti, which is Overdrive. Just pop him there. And that's the Ferrari 512 Berlinetta Boxer. And this is a 70s design. I think these were produced mid 70s to I think it was early 80s. So let's get them lined up like that, and they just look really, really tasty together. They scale very well, not exactly, but in the context of them being a transforming toy figure, whatever it is, lined up like this, you know, they look great side by side. Real world, no, they wouldn't be this close in measurements, but they're gonna do. So yeah, I don't think really I can say or want to say anything more about that really. Let's just move those 2 guys back out of the way and focus back on camshaft or Maedas. Just a bit of a side profile there. Underneath. Just getting from the top, the back, and then round the front, and then just put them back down on there. So yeah, great vehicle mode, no real complaints. Let's move on, shall we?
The battle car mode.
So we're here, we have the battle mode, which looks really nice. I can't really fault it. Everything seems to tab in well and hold. The only thing is just this part here, but you pull these flaps out and it'll just rest here anyway. It's not going anywhere. But yeah, it's a good representation and a good likeness to the G1 version. Actually, no. Yeah, there is one thing. And it's the same thing, the same issue that you have when it's when Maedas is in robot mode, and it's the guns, the weapons. They don't tab in properly, which I'm sure I've mentioned at some point, depending on how I edit all this together, because I am filming it kind of out of sequence. But these tabs here, I don't know if you can see them clearly enough, but yeah, those tabs there, because of the chroming, it's altered the tolerance on, so they won't. In fact, yeah, I'm pretty sure I have already mentioned it because I spoke about farming them down, so I won't go over that again. But anyway, back to battle mode. So yeah, he still rolls backwards and forwards in his in this mode, so still freewheels, no issues there. And yeah, not really else I can say about it. It just looks really good in that mode. So, well, we'll leave it at that, I think.
Final thoughts.
Right, final thoughts. I've got him here on the shelf. Let's bring him down and get him in hand while I'm chatting about him. I do like him. Let me start with that. I do have a couple of issues with him, but they're not enough to put me off him, which is interesting really, because there's probably very similar issues that I have with this that I have with recent Fans Toys release like Warhorse, Doc and Sovereign that have put me off them. It's my logic. I don't even understand my logic sometimes, so I don't expect you to understand, but I will try to explain best I can. So, Maedas, right. First thing, his guns, his weapons, they don't clip into his hands properly, so you have to kind of just like try and trap them in there with his fingers best you can. There are slots, which is just the usual standard Masterpiece style slot that you know, the peg at the side and you just slide it in. But with these weapons being chromed, I believe that perhaps a miscalculation was made in the tolerances, so they don't fit. If you could get a file or something in there and just file off some of the chrome work on that peg, they would fit a lot better. But I don't want to do that, and I wouldn't be surprised if anyone else would be prepared to do that, because it basically just means that you're going to start damaging a perfectly good figure for no reason. Sorry, the accessories for no reason. So if you can live with it, just jam them in his hands and he'll be fine. Just don't tip him upside down, also fall out. So that's one issue. Second issue I have is it'll be the waist here. It's attached. As per usual, I'll do photos so you will be able to see this a lot better than what you can here. But if I can just highlight here, I'm concerned about that. It's literally just a disc that is probably screwed in from the bottom, and then it's a pin that's holding it on there. Oh, let me just move his arms out of the way, you can see. So it's a pin that goes through there, and literally that's all you've got holding the upper torso to the legs. That pin will, over time, wear, and it will become loose. It's not too bad now, but if you tilt it too far and just give it a little nudge, then so while it's upright, it seems to support itself. There's a couple of positions, a couple of the photos that I did, again, that you may have seen on Instagram or Facebook, when I was posing him or trying to get him into the pose, it did keep tilting forward like that, and I had to just find that sweet spot to balance it out. What else is there? Right, okay, this area here, it kind of swings back and folds back, and it's supposed to clip in and tab in here. It doesn't do it very well, and this is literally tabbed in on one side, so it's just this side here is holding it. This side just will not tab in at all. I can't get it to do it at all. I've considered maybe speaking to the people that do, and if it's a replacement part or whatever, I don't know if I can be bothered on this occasion, because the last two figures I've had to contact and get replacement parts. I don't know if I can be bothered going through it again. It's holding on one side, and I think for the amount of times that I'm going to be messing about with him, having him out the box or posing him, it's probably going to be sufficient. Is it ideal? No, it's not ideal, but you know, as they say, it is what it is. But it shouldn't be. It shouldn't be. On the subject of tabbing in, X-Transbots keep doing this. They did it with Yaguchi, who I've put the box away down here now. When his back folds round, it doesn't tab into anything, so you're kind of relying on friction, and it's the same here with Maedas. The upper arms here, again, you may not be able to see it, but the pivot, you can just see that slight pivot there. So when he's in robot mode, the forward, when you put him into vehicle mode, the swing back and push back slightly. But it doesn't tab in, there's nothing to lock it in place. So again, when you're trying to manipulate or get into a pose, it just keeps swinging back. And it's just a little annoying. Same with the upper, with the shoulders here. This bar here. The bar moves back, which you've got the butterfly joint, if you will, on the screw there. That extra movement there kind of, maybe it would help with some poses, maybe it wouldn't, but I would have liked to have seen it tab in, just make it more secure and lock into place. Nothing with the legs or feet. I'm fine with them, happy with those. The head, again, I think the days of a backwards and forwards motion and just a twist, I think those days are over now. We need better articulation on the heads, whether it be a ball joint or some other engineering, just so you can get the figure to emote better. You know, like the confused dog kind of thing, or just kind of like a bit of an angle, tilt down or tilt up. I just don't feel that figures nowadays, that kind of joint it's just not cutting it for me anymore, I don't think. And yeah, I think really that's all I would say on a slightly negative point of view. Positively, as I said, I do like it. I do think it's a great figure. There's a lot to like about it. The paint application, the colour, the detailing, the crazy articulation on it, and the poses you can get it into. The die-cast content. It's got die-cast content up the arse as this thing. Almost literally. As I mentioned when I was talking you through the robot mode. Thighs, connectors for the feet, connectors at the elbows, connectors at the shoulders, the rocket at the back, internal mechanisms here inside the torso. It's all over the shop, and it does give it a nice weight. Does it feel as substantial and as solid as a Fanstoys figure? No, it doesn't. It feels like an X-Transbots figure. But, as I keep saying, it's getting better. They are getting better. There's just those one or two little issues that I've just mentioned that kind of just let them down a bit. And it's a shame. It is a shame. So where was I with the positives before I went back to the negatives again? Oh yeah, die-cast wheels. I think that's the first one. I'm not sure. I don't know if the wheels are die-cast on the other two chaps. I'll have to check. So that's great. Rubber tyres, yes, always great. Other detail and highlights in the car mode, the indicators, the bumpers, the rear light clusters, the pop-up lights, which I think I can pop them up while he's in robot mode. I can. Yeah, there we go. I'll just pop them up there because I ain't transforming him back into car mode just for this closeout now. Oh, that's a bit stiff, is that? I'll leave it. It's a bit stiff, but as you can see there, yes, we've got the pop-up headlights, and we've got, as I may have mentioned, translucent plastic for the lens on the pop-up headlight there. So yes, my final thoughts on him. A few minor quibbles aside and issues aside, I like the SOB. I'm happy that I've completed the 3 Omnibots. If for nothing more than the fact that I just have Omnibots now. I don't have Omnibots in their G1 forms. I keep my eyes out for them. Hopefully one day I will be able to get them. But I'm a bit of a fussy bugger, and they would have to be in a particular condition before I make that leap. So I'm going to leave that at that. That's my final thoughts on Maedas. And with that, it's now time to sign off. Excuse me. So again, thank you. I appreciate you watching and taking the time. If you've enjoyed it, do the usual. Well, you know, you've seen enough YouTube videos now. You know the process. And I think I will be back next with my look at... Oh yes, here he is. Missing link cordon. Looking forward to that one. So I will see you then. Bye for now.
Portfolio.
Volt's a fucking icon.